Welcome to Autodrom Most for the finale of regular season. Here in the NASCAR Wheel and Euro Series, our two divisions will be scoring just 40 points for a win for the final time before going into the double points playoffs, and they do so in front of a loyal and growing Czech fan base for the EuroNASCAR Series. The Autodrom Most is certainly a challenging circuit, 21 corners, lots of overtaking opportunities. This place is always fun.
The EuroNASCAR Pro battle is tight, and Liam Hasemans is one of those title contenders. When you're in the car, it means it's only in your hands. You are responsible for the results, and I think you want to get this EuroNASCAR Pro crown. Any strategy? Do you play it safe for the points, or do you go all in?
Well, the thing is, I think, after like 2 years now, I see also that the championship is won, on the long term. It's not like on the short term, because I see, for example, 2 years ago, I was much more aggressive, even when there was like a small gap, I thought I'd just try it. And that's why, like, for example, last year I had, a bit of contact and this and that, and it didn't turn out my way. So this year I try actually, of course, you try to go all in, because you see Vittorio is like just flying this season. So to try to keep up with him, you have to go all in, but be a bit more careful and maybe think twice instead of once, before making a move. So yeah, a bit more careful, but still going flat out all the time.
Eighth race of the season for EuroNASCAR Pro, and the pole sitter once again, Vittorio Garelli. Every pole position that has been decided by qualifying has gone to the Italian for PK Carsport. They are on a roll. The fans are in abundance. We're ready to go racing to see who masters Most. Paul Giffro alongside Garelli on the front row of the grid. Mark Goossens, with one of his best quali performances of the year, is alongside Liam Hasemans. 2x2, rolling start. The first corner, always a pinch point here at Most. We're underway and racing, and it's going to be Garelli by the looks of it with the lead into the first corner, unless Giuffro can get it done under braking. He tries to hold on around the outside, but it is Garelli that leads the way. Has everybody got through the first chicane in one piece? There's a little bit of contact and off-roading further back, but that is really an inevitability. Armetta has gotten a good start, but he then starts to drop through the order. The Club Motorsport having one of their best seasons in recent memory. Looked like he was up to about 5th position, but then I think may have snagged a gear and has dropped down to the fringes of the top 10. Paul Giffro following Garelli then it's Goossens, then it is the 69 Sebastian Bleekemolen. The Bleekemolen cars traditionally do very well here at Autodrom Most. We're never exactly sure what it is. I'm sure they have a secret, but they don't tell the likes of me. But there's always something that seems to unlock for Team Bleekemolen here at Most. Mark Goossens leading Sebastian at this stage. Just behind them is Luca Lasser. Then it's Gianmarco Ercoli, the defending champion, of course. He'll be looking for a good conclusion to regular season. Ercoli trying to get to the inside of Luca Lasser there, but Lasser doesn't give up the high ground easily. However, he's drifted wide there, and Ercoli gets through. Martin Dubeck, the hometown hero, is right there with them as well in 7th place in the number 7 car. Of course, Dubeck wearing the red banner because he's also leading in EuroNASCAR 2, and we'll see him out twice on this Saturday. Lasser down through the gearbox. A little bit of a tag there. The rear of Ercoli, and I think Ercoli missing a gear there, just not quite getting out of the corner. Luca Lasser is up into P5. Lasser kicking up some dust. Gianmarco Ercoli for Cal Racing, looking for a way by if he possibly can. Braking zone here into turn 10 is always a good place to try it. He's very close to the rear of Lasser. Lasser drifting out wide there. Tries to cover off Ercoli. Oh, contact between the two of them. Lasser into the barrier, and that car is certainly not going to be driving the same after that contact. right on board with Ercole. Ooh, and Lasser just slows down there. Did he hit the brake or did he potentially miss a gear? Either way, you saw the car almost hit a wall there. I think Lasser, more than anything, might have been trying to get out of the way, and Ercole went the same direction at the same time. Nonetheless, the end result seems to be that Ercole is also dropping through the order. Look, he's behind numerous drivers, including Liam Hazeemans, who got a poor start. Hazeemans in 7th position now. Bear in mind, he started on row 2, but he dropped down the order on the first lap of the race. I think he was as low as 9th at one time, working his way back through now. Now fighting with Fabrizio Armetta for P6 and gets through pretty easy. Liam Hazeemans for Hendricks Motorsport, one of the primary contenders to Vittorio Garelli, second in the standings coming into this weekend, with Paul Giuffreau and Gianmarco Ercole also giving chase. Now Ercole looking for a way to get back past Armetta too. Hopefully his car is okay. Tsiotsis and Delso fighting it out further back in the field, and Vladimiros Tsiotsis four-wheel drifting there out of turn 17. Ulysse Delso, the Speedhouse driver, the young Frenchman who's so experienced in these cars, diminutively so for his age, and gets past the number 1 up into P12. Fairly textbook stuff there from Ulysse Delso. As I was saying, very experienced. Has been doing this, I think, since he was a teenager. Blake Molan in the battle for 3rd position here. Chasing Mark Goossens, his teammate. Meanwhile, Garelli and Giuffreau are getting closer together for the race lead as well. Paul Giuffreau would love to try and get past, get one up on Vittorio Garelli. Not many people have beat Vittorio Garelli in a straight fight this year. In fact, I think pretty much every time Garelli has been off the top step of the podium, there have been circumstances to point to. But Paul Giuffreau likes this circuit. This is the circuit where last year he claimed his inaugural victory in EuroNASCAR Pro, when his season went from a EuroNASCAR 2 campaign to a dual EuroNASCAR Pro exploratory season. Oh, and a dive to the inside there up against Vittorio Garelli. And he just about manages to keep the inside, but can't do it through turn 3. That was a bit of a hefty moment of contact there. Hopefully both cars are okay. Garelli shut the door, and I think if he'd done so 5 meters later, that could have been a rather more intense impact. I'm not sure both of them would have got through the corner, but Giuffreau stating his intent. And that intent is to find a way past the championship leader. He backs off a little bit there into the fast right-hander. Tried to carry a lot more speed, tried to carry too much speed, as it turns out. Goes rally crossing. Strikes me that Garelli just about has the measure of Giuffreau. But perhaps not, because Giuffreau closing in once again. We know the number 3 is quick around here. We know that Giuffreau likes it. Is he going to be close enough for a move into the first corner? He's certainly looking to the inside, but I think realised he was maybe a car length too far back there. A little bit of a love tap between the two cars as they come through the chicane once again. There's the very much damaged car of Luca Lasser. Went into the pit lane, but is still running around to try and collect points. Lasser well up in the championship standings in the top 10, so it's well worth getting the points in if you possibly can, but that car is walking wounded for sure. Giuffreau there kicking up some dust, taking as much of the curb as he dare and going a little bit beyond it in the process. Time is running out. Garelli is feeling the pressure. Giuffreau right there on his rear bumper. when you heard there, just a little bit of lock-up. I think just steering him wide of the apex, but he's got a good run out of the final corner. Is it going to be enough to try and make a move on the 24? Super close as they come down the straight, but there's the checkered flag, and that's a win once again for Vittorio Garelli. His championship lead extends further. Oosens beats Blake Molan home in the intra-team Blake Molan battle for third place, and Liam Hazemans recovers well to fifth. Celebrations, though, for Garelli, who only made one slip-up all day.
Thank you so much, Adam. Another race win, another step towards the championship, but it was a tough battle with Paul Gifford, right?
Yeah, it was very fast. We were struggling a bit halfway through the race, but yeah, he was a bit too aggressive also. Bumped me 3-4 times. Not so respectful, you know, but it was a nice battle. It ended up well, and that's the main objective, the main goal. Anyway, yeah, a lot of fun. I really struggled, but I really had a lot of fun. It was a nice race. This is for my dad. He has to get surgery soon to his hip. This is for you. Ciao, papa.
I talked already to your teammate Patrick. He was really pleased to see what you did with the 3 car. You seemed very fast.
Yeah, the car was really nice. I think RDV Competition made an amazing job on the chassis. The setup were just perfect. I was gaining a lot of time in the turns. After in the exit, it was a bit more difficult to follow. But yeah, at the first lap, I saw that Garelli will, as usually, make a gap and win the race. But at lap 5 or 6, I gained a lot of pace. He lost a little bit, that's why I was gaining. And then it was really hard to find a gap. I saw that I got one, but because he locked the tire at the chicane, I said to myself, okay, I go at the second part of the chicane. But he closed the door like I would do if I was at his place. So yeah, it was good battle. It was nice. It's for races like that we want to be racing driver. Sorry. And yeah, so amazing. We start P1 tomorrow, so that's a good point. And yeah. As I told you, I will be at 100% at every race for now. We have to be there for the championship, and I'm feeling confident.
Drivers making time for their fans and certainly making time to celebrate great results. Mark Goosen's delighted with his podium too, as Garelli and Gifford celebrate their battle. Gifford also winning in the junior trophy ahead of Hazemans and Ryan Vargas. Max Lanza taking the Challenger Trophy classification for Cal Racing. So then, the EuroNASCAR 2 battle hotting up between Hendricks Motorsport drivers local hero Martin Dubeck and his teammate Jill Linster.
We are almost ready for the first race in EuroNASCAR 2 here at Autodrom Most. And next to me, one of the title contenders, Jill Linster, racing for Hendricks Motorsport. And I have a simple question. Here's the car of the championship leader, your teammate, in the back. How do you want to beat him?
For sure, just being fast. I hope that I don't see the car like this. Hope most of the time I will see him in the mirror. But I know he's crazy fast here. It's his home track, so it will not be easy.
But when you think about the championship battle, is it just go all in or having the big picture in mind, collecting points?
No, it's all in. I think the big picture now is all in. There is no point to wait to the finals to get the double points. I need to get a lot of points this event already and then just close the gap a little bit. And then when we come into the double points, for sure, it's a new strategy. Maybe play it cool. Depends on the result of this event.
So then it's time for the race in EuroNASCAR 2. All eyes on Martin Dubeck, but it's not his car on the front row. No, it's Patrick Schauber, the number 3 RDV competition car that looks so competitive in the hands of Paul Gifford earlier on, was also the fastest car in qualifying in EuroNASCAR 2. Melvin de Groot, the Dutchman, having one of his best ever qualifying performances. He lines up second. Dubeck and Linster making it at all Hendricks Motorsport Row 2 as we get the race underway. Claudio Remeggio Capelli there pushing the hometown hero up a little bit there. But I don't think that's going to change anything through the first corner. Oh, big contact further back in the field. Cars and drivers absolutely everywhere. I think we saw The 21 car up in the air of Jack Davidson. We saw cars everywhere from about 10th place backwards. We ride on board with Thomas Dombrowski. Oh, goodness me. We have certainly lost a couple with that. We ride on board with Florian Richard, who got a hefty hit from Reza Sardeha in his Shelby Tribute livery number 11 car, the Team Blake Emolan 11 entry. And no surprises, the safety car came out, at least a half dozen cars involved with that. I think Davidson actually managed to escape it by taking the escape road. At least a half dozen cars in that back section of the field involved as we go back to racing. Single file restart, and it's a good launch from Melvin de Groot on the outside of Patrick Schauber. Schauber leads the way though. Dubek in third. Tefel side by side with Claudio Remeggio Capelli. That is for fourth position. Then it's Jill Linster, and look at Florian Richard's 33 car. What little there is left of it is going to struggle for the rest of this race, and that's important in the rookie trophy standings. But certainly Linster lost out on the first lap, so he's got some work to do. It's Schauber from de Groot, from Dubek, your top three. And as the only Czech driver in the series this season, you can be sure that the fans here at Most are cheering on that number 7, Martin Dubek. His sponsor, Orion, have their Dakar motorcycle team here this weekend as well in the paddock on display. There's some great photo ops there from two very different corners of the motorsport globe. It's fair to say. Oh, as Capelli goes very wide there. I was about to say it's fair to say this could be more than a 3-car battle, because it looked like Capelli was perhaps going to forge a path forward, but he's dropped 2 positions there. Both Tefel and Linster get by, and if Linster manages to get himself up to 4th place, you could certainly see him bolting himself onto this currently 3-car battle for the race lead. But look at that, Tefel is bridging the gap himself as well in the Race Art Technology number 34. Tefel in his 2nd season in EuroNASCAR, and it's really become clear that he has learnt a lot from that first season. Did a lot of testing during the winter, has really figured out the car. And the fruits of his efforts are certainly bearing repeatedly this season. Schauber in the race lead, with Melvin de Groot in 2nd place. Now, Melvin's best ever finish in EuroNASCAR 2 in the overall standings is a 3rd place finish. He's currently in P2. Of course, he's also considering the Legend Trophy standings, which his teammate Mikael Blekemolen leads at the moment. We ride on board with Gil Linster around the outside of Tefel. Has he got it stopped? No, he has not. Straight across the gravel we go. I imagine he's only going to lose positions. Indeed, here comes Claudio Remeggio Capelli back past him. Patrick Schauber, the young Austrian racer, does this on a shoestring budget. We didn't really see the best of his car on the Friday because he was using old tyres in free practice. One of those drivers who I think looks for a sponsor, looks to get some more funding behind his career. He's certainly got the talent to thrive. And with RDV competition, he does have a great platform to do it with. Very much a title contender, and beating Dubek this weekend puts him right back in there. He's yet to win a race for RDV competition. He did win a race with Double V, of course, last year. Melvin de Groot, meanwhile, trying to stave off Dubek, but it looks like Dubek's got a really good run here. He might have a go into the penultimate corner. Is he brave enough to do it? Yes, he is, late on the brakes, and he will get it done. Maybe the slightest iota of contact between them, but good racing from both parties. I think Melvin knew that the door couldn't be closed with Martin that far alongside him. And indeed, Dubek moves up to second place. Thomas Tuchel in fourth position, now closing in on Melvin de Groot as well. Claudio Remeggio Capelli also still lurking in fifth place, and rather surprisingly, we haven't seen the same pace out of Gil Linster since he went straight across the gravel a few laps ago. Perhaps sixth place will be his ceiling in this race. But what about Dubek? Now that he's up into second place, can he challenge Patrick Schauber? We'll see. Tuchel under pressure from Claudio Remeggio Capelli, who rather surprisingly is outside the top 10 of the championship standings right now. Had some misfortunes and dramas this year, certainly. And if he can conclude regular season with 2 good results here, he could certainly still be a factor in the championship, in the double points, of course. 80 points for a win in Oschersleben and Zolder in both races, as Thomas Tuchel goes a little bit wide there. Manages to keep the car on the road. Quite easy once you're offline to drift off the track entirely. Tuchel taking the defensive inside for turn 20. Making it clear to Capelli that that door isn't going to be left open for him if Tuchel has anything to do with it. Claudio Remeggio Capelli, a respectful racer. He's been praised for that by many of those who've gone wheel to wheel with him. Comes from Italian national and club level racing, and I think drivers that come up from there inherently respectful because, of course, well, it's often their own machinery that they have to repair if things go south. Capelli with the nose to the inside of Thomas Tuchel. Oh, goodness me, a little bit of grass tracking there for Claudio Remeggio Capelli. I think they managed to avoid hitting each other, but Tuchel certainly not giving him an inch lest he take a mile. Capelli getting a little bit loose there. Dirty tyres, I'm sure, on the rear because of that grass tracking. But meanwhile, at the front of the order, Patrick Schauber has not really had any dramas from Dubek behind. He's retained a good advantage, and he claims a win here at the Autodrom Most. The NASCAR GP Czechia round 8 of the season will be win number 1 of the season for the giant Austrian himself. Patrick Schauber takes the win with, again, just one stumble all day.
Thank you so much, Adam. Finally back in victory lane, Patrick Schauber. But it was a tough race. You had to defend against Melvin de Groot, and then Martin Dubek closed a little bit the gap. Yeah. But in the end, you're here.
Yeah, like the first 8-10 laps were really tough because I had so much pressure behind me. But I managed it perfectly, and yeah, I finally got the win for the first win with me in RDV competition. They've done a great job on setting up the car. Also, Paul did a great job this race. And yeah, I'm just really proud to be finally back here.
Martin Dubek second on his home turf.
Yeah, right, Adam. He didn't get the win, our local hero, Martin Dubek, but important points for the championship. Second place, you were trying to catch Patrick Schauber. Can you tell me how the race was from your point of view?
Yeah, it was a fantastic race. It's a pity that I didn't win, but second place is nice for points for the championship. But I did the fastest lap during the race, so tomorrow I will start from pole position and another chance tomorrow. And from pole position I have to win, no?
Rookie Trophy classification going to Mario Urkeli, his first win in that class. Melvin de Groot taking the Legend Trophy classification here in Most, and Ariana Casoli beating the returning Luli Del Castello to take Lady Trophy honours. Celebrations into the evening then on Saturday, but our EuroNASCAR 2 drivers have to be up bright and early for Sunday's racing. Patrick Schauber with his first win of the season, but Dubek will be on pole on Sunday.